Three, two, one. Welcome, wrestling fans, to episode 9 of the Squared Circle. With me tonight, a newer panel again. Uh, First off, Justin.
Hey everybody, Justin Botter at Botter on Twitter.
Remember Eric from last week? Eric, give your Twitter handle.
Hey guys, Eric at the personality on Twitter.
And from the WrestleMania special, we got the Ring King site manager, Tad.
What's up, guys? At Tad Johnson SK.
All right, we'll get right into it. Last night was Extreme Rules. Obviously, if you guys are watching this, you probably either watch Extreme Rules or you know what happened, so we're not really going to go over every match. But first thing I want to talk about is the most important thing of the night, the WLC. I don't know what you guys thought. I do know kind of what you guys thought, but Eric, give me your reason or your thoughts on the WLC last night. And I thought it was awesome personally. Are they bringing small people wrestling back, or is it just a fad?
Well, at first I was like disappointed just when I heard the match because El Torito is a really good wrestler, and so I was kind of worried. But the match is one of the best matches we've seen in a pre-show in a long time, sadly to say.
There must have been 20-something tables broken throughout the match.
Oh yeah, I mean it was probably one of the most extreme matches of the night, and that I've seen in a long time.
But well, Botter, what do you think about it? I know that you weren't a big fan of it going into it, but did it change your mind a little bit? Hornswoggle stepped up a little bit too. I know that El Torito's the wrestler of the group, but Hornswoggle stepped up. What did you think about it, Botter?
You can't bring Hornswoggle down, man. But but no, it was actually a pretty brutal match once like 3MB and Los Matadors got into it, because I mean they had this one spot where all of them got put through like two tables and ladders stacked on top of it, and it was pretty brutal. I mean, it was entertaining. It was a surprise to say the least, but yeah, it turned out really good, and I agree with Eric. It was one of the most entertaining matches for a warm-up show, so I had no problem with it.
Tab, what do you think? Are we going to have some more WLC, or is it just like they had a card filler, and that was what they did for a card filler?
Let me tell you, 5 stars, match of the century, match of the decade, everything. We need more midget wrestling. Yeah, I really like the spots and everything. The only complaint I will have is that I'm really bummed that they're still calling it 3MB. It should be 3.5 MB.
We discussed that. We thought 3 1/3 though. So that's why it was kind of real small.
Because they're leaving them out. It's ridiculous.
All right. On a more serious note, we'll talk about Extreme Rules more throughout the night. We'll move on tonight. It was a 20-man battle royale tonight to open up Raw. Obviously, if you guys didn't watch it, Sheamus won the U.S. title, so Dean Ambrose's reign is finally over. No more throwing the belt in the ground, kicking it, and not even walking out with it half the time. There's actually a champion. So Eric, let me know. Does this mean that Sheamus being champion is it now a relevant title again, or is it just going to kind of fall to the back burner?
Well, first off, I'm sad because I like Dean Ambrose. You know, there goes 351 days down. But yeah, I do think that we'll see a little bit of relevance to the title again. But in the long run, I think possibly this could just be a setup now for a SummerSlam match with Sheamus and the new Intercontinental Champion as well, Wade Barrett. But that's just my opinion on it.
That's one way we're going. Then I'll lead right into my next question to Tad. Is it ever going to be what the Intercontinental Championship is, Tad? Do you think it's going to be big, or?
I've been kind of an advocate for the last year or so that they really need to combine those belts. I can remember days when the Intercontinental Championship would main event an entire show or an entire pay-per-view, completely blow people away. And yeah, it has felt like kind of a side thing at this point. And I think at some point they need to combine those two belts. Maybe like a TV title or something, but I wish they had let Ambrose keep it for at least, till he got to a year. I think that'd be a cool milestone. But I didn't expect Sheamus to win. I thought Ambrose was going to retain, and I thought it would continue with the authority storyline, like you can't bring us down kind of thing.
I was the same way. I thought for sure that Ambrose was going to retain. Actually, first thing I thought was Dolph Ziggler, because I was just not really logically thinking, but I wanted Dolph to have a belt again because he deserves it. He's one of the best wrestlers out there. But once I saw him get kicked out and we saw Sheamus left, I thought to Bonner right now because he is a Dean Ambrose guy. How your feelings on Dean losing the belt tonight?
I think he should have had it for 2 years, but no, no, no. I mean, it had to happen sometime, but not to Sheamus. I mean, that guy's all his career he's been pushed. It seems so. But I was hoping for like a Dolph, hell, even Santino, you know. But I don't know. I'm not a big Sheamus guy. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he'll defend it. I mean, he's already got a scheduled title defense, I think, on SmackDown. So it'll bring a little bit more relevance to it. But I do like that idea of the TV belt, the TV title coming back. I know WCW had it and ECW had it, and it worked out pretty good, and they put on good matches for that. I just hope it, like the two main belts, I mean, having the unified, they don't even call it the unified now. It's not even bringing validity to those because you don't get as many title matches and defenses and whatnot. So maybe this one will step up and kind of fill in and have better matches.
Well, that's my feeling on it. Is I don't really care if it's a U.S. title or the European Championship or a TV title or another World Heavyweight Championship. I think we need more belts in the WWE just because it gives you more relevance to matches. I mean, who cares about just a regular Joe Schmo versus Joe Schmo match with no belt on the line? But you throw a European Championship on the line, and it makes people like D'Lo Brown a star, who would never been a good world champion, but he was a great European champion.
The only thing I have to disagree with the whole bringing in more belts, I don't think we need more belts. We just need better feuds instead of like there's no like segments and anything. Actually, have people talking back and forth on the mic and building up a feud for a little bit instead of just randomly throwing them in matches. That
Well,
match.
I agree with that too, but with the feud comes what's the outcome of it? A guy
Yeah.
wins and that's it, or a guy wins and now he's a title holder.
Yeah.
I don't just mean here's a belt. You guys don't know have anything going on, just fight. No, I mean I want something to fight for.
And they need to make it seem like the belt actually means something. Like you were mentioning how Ambrose would only come out with it some of the time. It needs to I think they kind of did a bit ago with Cody Rhodes when he had the Intercontinental belt.
They
He
changed the
brought
color
back the
to it.
classic belt and was like, "I'm gonna bring back relevance to this," but then didn't really do anything with it.
No,
Something like
I mean
that.
it helped bring it back though.
Yeah, sort of. But then again, it's the
I,
same way as it has been the last couple of years.
I mean it's not Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon era Intercontinental title, but it's still a pretty important title. They had a nice little tournament for it, but I mean in the long run, I feel because the championship titles are unified, there's just got to be something more to reach for. Because otherwise, what are they? I mean, you have a locker room full of 60 guys. You could have 60 guys going for at one time for that. Otherwise, they're just fighting for just to say they won. Which I mean, that's classic wrestling, but that's not the new era of wrestling. But all right, we'll move on to the next thing. Agree to disagree. Um, Next thing we'll talk about is a rumor we heard today about Batista. Now he's scheduled to leave the WWE to promote his movie with some Gladiator Galaxy. I don't really
Guardians
care.
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, who cares? I don't care. It's Batista. He wears skinny jeans. I'm not gonna watch anything he ever puts out. But this rumor that he's not leaving, he's leaving in June. Well, now it's come out that he's not happy with WWE. Not so much where his character's going, but apparently there's some financial issues going on where he's not getting the money that he thought he was going to be getting. So I had heard that he was going to be leaving after tonight's Raw. Now the segment tonight with him didn't make it. They didn't write him off the show. That's for sure. He wasn't written off the show. So, Tad, give me your opinion on Batista and his future in WWE.
Well, I think one of the things when Batista first made his way back, I think at first I almost want to say he was promised a title run, and I thought he would get a title run to coincide with Guardians of the Galaxy. But when he got booed out of the building at Royal Rumble, I think they had to change their plans, and I think that threw off everything they had in store for Batista. Like, I think they were going to give him the belt at WrestleMania, but they realized after the Royal Rumble, if we give him the belt at Mania, there's going to be a riot. And it, excuse me, it just kind of threw everything off that they had planned for him. And he's not the kind of guy that I think enjoys sharing the spotlight very much. So I almost wonder if that's what's rubbing him the wrong way.
I don't know if it's so much. I mean, it's that too. I mean, he obviously wants to be the guy, but a good quote that I had read today on a site was that Batista has the kind of money that he doesn't need to be in the WWE. He has the money. He's got the CM Punk money where he can walk away at any time if he's not happy with what's going on. And if he's not getting the money or the title, why would he stay? Bauder, give me your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head about it. He does have the money. I mean, obviously he's in movies and everything, but yeah, like once Royal Rumble hit, you had to know that his storyline was going to have to change dramatically because the crowd doesn't like him. I mean, well, it's not even that. They don't care about him, which is worse. I mean, he doesn't get a crowd reaction. I mean, he gets booed when he got booed before he did the triple power bomb tonight. But I mean, before this, I mean, he was just kind of coming out. People would be like, "Oh, there's Batista." He would do a finisher. No one would care. So, I mean, with him, it just seems like it was a failed experiment. I mean, they tried to bring him back. They tried to make him face, and I mean, how many muscle-bound guys in the WWE do we have already? We don't need another one. So, I mean, it's basically if he wants to stay, he's going to stay. But I don't know where his character development's going to go. I mean, yeah, he's with Evolution, but Evolution just got beat by the Shield. They're really pushing the Shield and the Wyatts, and it's kind of weird that Evolution is now the third faction, that's kind of lower on the totem pole with the popularity. So, I mean, it'll all be up to him to ultimately, but I mean, personally, I wouldn't care if he left tonight.
Eric, what are you thinking about Batista here? Do you think he's going to be leaving sooner than the June, or what's up?
Oh, I didn't even think that he was going to be leaving in June. I thought he was going to last a little bit longer than that, but I don't see much for him. Even with the new Evolution thing going on, that's all that's really going to go for him. I don't see a title push. I don't see him. The only thing I can see him possibly doing is turning his back on the Evolution and then leaving. But I mean, yeah, like everybody said, him coming back, nobody really cared. Everybody's booed him. Even tonight, like Botter said, he was getting booed before the triple powerbomb. But even before that, he was about to do a spine buster to Ambrose on the stairs, and I think somebody said something to him in the crowd because he just like literally almost dropped Ambrose and botched the whole thing. But I could care less about Batista.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's pretty much just Triple H's friend that got a new hire, got a second chance. My biggest
I think
issue.
part of the problem might have been when he came back, they tried to give him the same treatment as The Rock when he made his big return and everything, and the fans just completely crapped on it because he is not The Rock.
Oh no, he's not. Which will bring me to my next thing was that, from what I understand, that like tonight's match, Daniel Bryan versus Alberto Del Rio, that wasn't supposed to happen tonight. That was supposed to be Batista versus Daniel Bryan, started a new feud to lead into Batista getting his title shot, maybe not title run, but title shot at Daniel Bryan. And another thing a statement that he had said, I can't remember the exact quote, but he does not want to put Daniel Bryan over anymore. He put him over at WrestleMania, as Tad pointed out to me earlier. But Tad, your opinion on Batista just not going any further with Daniel Bryan?
I really think Batista's always been. I mean, you can tell he's got an ego. It's really, really obvious. Daniel Bryan is the complete opposite, and he does what he's told and everything. He's definitely a company guy. Well, Batista's there for the money. I mean, Batista's the kind of guy that when he left the company before, he bitched about the I don't like this PG and I'm not going to come back if it isn't changed. Well, if he's not going to get his way, then he's not going to stick around. And getting beat by Daniel Bryan again is not what he wants.
Yeah, you can't let a big muscle-bound guy get beat by a vegan. But
Former vegan.
Former vegan. Sorry, Eric. What are your thoughts on Batista? He refuses to put Daniel Bryan over any more than he already is.
That's fine by me, to be honest. I don't think it'd be the greatest match anyway. With Daniel, everybody knows I didn't really want Daniel Bryan to be champion yet, but I would like to see something else. I don't want to see him in the title picture anyway. We could do something else. Yeah, should he help out Daniel Bryan a little bit if they were going to do a title picture and push him a little bit? But yeah, but he won't. Like I said, Batista doesn't care. He doesn't care about company. He doesn't care about anything else. He just cares about the money he's going to leave.
Yeah, That's pretty obvious. Potter, I'm gonna throw something a little different at you. We've heard that Ric Flair has had a new contract signing with the WWE. Future of Evolution now, with Ric Flair being introduced, maybe, and Batista possibly leaving. What do you think is going on here?
I think if he comes back, it'll be drunk illusion. Because I mean, man, his last promo, man, he was completely hammered. But he kind of almost endorsed the Shield. But I mean, it doesn't matter when Ric Flair comes back or whatever. People will show up to see him. He puts people in the seats. So I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking that Dean Ambrose had a conversation with Flair the other night because he's been doing the figure four leg locks. So I don't know. If he comes back, I mean, that'll be a smoother transition of Batista leaving and then Flair coming in saying, "Oh, you need the old dog in there to keep you guys level." So who knows? It might work out.
Tad, your thoughts on Ric Flair coming back and what the future of Evolution is going to hold? If Batista leaves, is it going to be? Are they going to break up? What's Randy? What happens to Randy Orton too? We haven't said his name once tonight. I mean, and he was just
Well,
a former
first of
unified
all,
champion.
I mean, first off, you said that Flair sounded pretty wasted in his last interview. I don't think that dude's been sober for like 20 years. He always
Lucky,
sounds like
lucky
he's
him.
totally
Yeah, he's lucky.
blasted out of his mind. Secondly, I mean, feature evolution. I think if Batista leaves, I think Orton goes his own way. Triple H keeps going with the Authority. Or what I want to see personally, there's a new guy debuting sometime in the next month or two, and I would love to see some Evolution.
He had to get the bull pun in, didn't you, Tad?
Had
All
to
right,
throw at least one bow in there.
all right, Eric. Your thought of the future Evolution with Ric Flair coming in and Batista possibly leaving?
I don't see much with Ric Flair except for just rubbing it in their faces, maybe with the Shield or something. But just thinking about it right off the top of my head right now, that could be a good thing to way to take out Batista would be Randy Orton turning on Evolution, takes out Batista, and then turns his back on Triple H, create a good feud with Randy Orton against the Authority. Be kind of nice to see too.
I was going to hit on that exactly right now. I'm pretty sure that once Batista leaves and Rick comes back, that Randy turns on Triple H, and because he hasn't had a spot right now. He was a world champion, a unified world champion, and now he's pretty much nothing. He's not even talked about. I feel like he's gonna turn on Triple H, and that's gonna be the next. Because Triple H is, no matter how much of a CEO he is, and company man, he's got the biggest ego, bigger than Batista's in the company, and he wants to be in the ring. He wants to have the spotlight. So he's got to have a feud with somebody, and I feel like it's going to be Randy Orton needs to have a feud coming up soon. So once Evolution does break up, whether it's this week, this month, or in June, July when Batista's dumb movie comes out, eventually it's going to be need to have something to happen at Evolution. So
I just thought of something we might see, in the next month or two with Evolution also. If Batista's being written out for his movie, wouldn't you hate it if you got to hear the same promo every week? My client, Brock Lesnar, conquered the animal.
oh jeez.
What if he takes out Batista?
Well,
Like,
yeah,
what
it's a
if he just
possibility.
completely crushes him?
But we haven't heard a peep from Brock Lesnar since WrestleMania, so I don't know how I don't know his
He's at
con.
home reveling in his victory.
He has, but I mean, I don't know what his contract is. He's still a part-time wrestler. He's not a full-time guy. But we'll go on to the next thing real quick. Botter, do you real quick. The Wyatts and the Shield, they both come into this company as heels, and now they're completely over. Wyatts are still heels, Shields are face. What's your reasoning that you think that the Wyatts and Shield are so over right now?
Well, simple. They put on good matches. I mean, the Shield are high impact, flying all over the place. The Wyatts are, high impact, but they cut really good promos too. I mean, last night at Extreme Rules with Little Johnny, I mean, I went crazy because I was not expecting that. But I mean, the WWE can't make you hate somebody anymore or like somebody. I mean, it's all basically fan driven. I mean, if you come in as a heel, there's going to be those few people that are going to be like, yeah, they're beating up the faces. And then they keep it keeps rolling, snowballing, and everything, and then they just become faces, whether you like it or not. But I think it's good. I mean, you have two solid factions right now that are really huge. I mean, we've seen more six-man tag matches than we have in years now. So, I mean, it's good for. I think it. I mean, I'm a huge Shield guy, but with the Wyatts there too, I mean, you can split them up and have singles matches or like tag matches or six mans. So it leads to a lot of different match options, but ultimately it's good for WWE because I mean, yeah, they brought them in as heels, but they're gonna put butts in the seats. So that's all they need.
Eric, your opinion on why the Wyatts and the Shield are just completely over right now? Pretty much over the champion. I would say they're both over Daniel Bryan, way over what Daniel Bryan is right now.
Oh yeah, all the factions in the WWE right now are way over the champion, including Evolution. But I think one thing that's really worked is the Shield. Before they even came in, I knew two of the guys right off the bat with their wrestling skills. So, like Botter said, in the ring, Shield performs very well. Wyatt's, it comes down to their promos and character. That's what really is the nice factor. But nowadays, you can't really. The company doesn't do well when they throw people together to make a new group. They kind of have to be introduced that way, and that's the way it works out nowadays. But
except for the Real Americans, because that worked out for a while.
Yeah, it kind of worked out, but I still like. I was just mainly a Cesaro fan out of the whole thing.
Yeah, but that made you like you still stood up and said "We the People."
Yeah, true. But that's not like a faction. That's just a tag team.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean that's all I think it is just a great performance and the crowd really getting into them and slowly developing their characters, letting them speak more and more, and that brought them to the way they are over this past year.
Tad, your thoughts on the Wyatts and Shield and how much they are completely over right now?
Well, I don't remember when it was, but not too long ago, a report came out that said Vince McMahon in a meeting said there's no such thing as a face or a heel anymore.
And John Judd, if he was here right now, would kiss you on the lips because he's been saying that for 2 years now that no more faces or heels.
It's absolutely true because it's no longer good guy, bad guy. It's about who the fans actually want to see. The fans, with the onset of the internet and the ease of access at their fingertips, fans get to choose who they actually want to see get over, which is, I mean, it's not a new thing, but it's a more, we're seeing it more and more. If you think about the guys that, they're supposed to be heels, but they end up getting over as faces. Daniel Bryan with his yes and no chance, Dolph Ziggler a couple of years ago. Shield. It's
Wade Barrett's another example. He's a heel that's completely over right now.
Cesaro.
Yeah.
Cesaro, yeah. I mean, it just goes on. The list goes on.
It's all about what the fans want at this point. Instead of management getting to choose, you're a face or you're a heel. It's give your gimmick a try and see where it goes.
Which I think is why the WWE has survived as long as it has. It's because Vince, as old and old school as he is, knows that times are changing. Things happen differently. The Shield is so over because of what Botter said. They are so athletic in the ring. Roman Reigns is the reason why the Shield is over. Seth Rollins is a big help. Dean Ambrose is there with his craziness, but Roman Reigns is why the Shield's so over right now to me.
Yeah.
Just like the Wyatt's over because of Bray Wyatt and his promos. Nobody's ever seen the creepy, nobody this generation has seen this creepy, promo, crab walking, the backyard or back West Virginia creepiness that the Wyatts bring. And they want something different. Everybody, that's the key to wrestling, I think. The key to sports entertainment has always been the different. It's got to be different. Mm-hmm. Don't be the same old, cut guy wearing small trunks with knee pads and elbow pads and,
like Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, like Mojo Riley or, your Zack Ryders and stuff like that. You guys that are just big meatheads that don't do anything for you.
Hey, Zack Ryder's not a meathead, and he deserves a push.
Oh, jeez.
He tried. You got to change your character. Even this new guy, Adam Rose, before he came in, was like Leo Kruger, and he was just a muscle-bound guy.
He was a poacher from South Africa or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, but you got to try different things.
Who is that? Who was that guy on NXT that Tyson Kidd just beat that got fired, and he was this big meathead type dude?
Mason
And
Ryan.
Mason Ryan, yeah, yeah.
Right.
They used to
The
call it,
announcers,
Batista clone.
yeah,
yeah.
the announcers was like, oh, if you want to see a WWE like a carbon copy of a WWE superstar, look at Mason Ryan, and yeah, he's fired.
And that's what nobody wants anymore. We want something different. Me as a fan, I'm 29 years old. I've been watching this. I was 10 years old, if not younger, but I remember from 10 years old. I want different. I want a Roman Reigns who, does, he's comic book esque with a Superman punch. Would he, you know what I mean? I want the Dean Ambrose who goes nuts. I want the Wyatts with the creepy beards and their weird walking on their hands, and you know what I mean. That's what the
I
WWE
think
needs to keep doing, and they're doing great right now with it. Go ahead, Ted.
I think the phrase you're looking for that really kind of sums it up is a willing suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
I don't want to have just normal guys that you think, oh, yeah, that's him outside the ring and inside the ring. I'm pretty sure Bray Wyatt isn't singing "He's Got the Whole World" and doing a crab walk through the airport, but I'm watching it to be sports entertained. I don't want to see just the regular old dude.
And which is crazy because the WWE for a couple years with John Cena at the helm was that it was so mundane, so
It's
straight
vanilla.
at I mean, yeah, it was just terrible. And now I feel like we're going to with this reality era right now. I mean, it started this year. They call it the reality era. I think it's changed a little bit. It's never going to be as good as never going to be as good as the Attitude Era, but I think we're heading in the right direction. But we got time constraints here, so let's move on to the next thing. Um, Buried Alive match is a new possibility for Payback. Uh, Eric, give me your opinion on what you think the dumb gimmick matches coming back and what you think about what's going to happen.
See, you call them dumb. I actually kind of like those matches. I mean, even though sometimes they're very straightforward and they don't last long, but I think it'd be really cool, them picking up shovels and beating the crap out of each other. Um, that's the kind of old stuff I miss is seeing some of the more quote unquote hardcore extreme style of matches, and they're different, they're unique. I'd like seeing those at pay per views as well. So that'd be great. I'd love to see that at Payback.
Botter, your opinion on a Buried Alive match? That's the rumor right now with Dana Bryan and Kane.
Okay, here's what you do.
Here we go.
All right, you take Daniel Bryan and Kane, have them fight in the ring. Lead up to the suspense of throwing in the pit. What happens is you throw Kane into the pit, but right before you start to dump the dirt on him, Undertaker comes out with like a Moses Stone tablet of his streak numbers, and then wants to feud with Daniel Bryan for some reason for the title. No,
And
no,
Paul Bearer comes out with a shovel.
I'm
That's
still alive. No, but but no. I mean, you know what? We haven't seen a Buried Alive match for a little bit. I mean, Daniel probably could pull it off. Kane, I think, has been in what, two of them, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's something different to say the least. But it's not the match I would go for. It's not even the feud I would go for. But it could work out. I mean, but still, like have an Undertaker in there, and yeah, that'd be awesome.
Tad, your take on a possible Buried Alive match at Payback with Kane and Dana
Um,
Bryan.
I think the Buried Alive match as a gimmick can work, but it all depends on how they sell it. If they just kind of shake it off, then I don't think it's gonna work. But if when it's announced, like Daniel Bryan is absolutely terrified, and you can tell that he's like visibly shaken by it, I think it could work. But if he just kind of like meh, whatever, then I mean, they have to go over the top with having him be terrified of being buried alive. Because, I mean, let's be honest, he's going over. He's not going to get buried alive. Kane's going down, but you got to make it believable, I guess. Well, as believable as burying a dude alive on a metal stage can be.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll weigh in a little bit. I've never been a huge fan of gimmick matches. I like the straightforward wrestling. Maybe a ladder match here and there, some tables thrown in. Um, I think they're definitely building up to it with the whole Kane. You can't put Kane down. Last night he got thrown to a fiery table and he got right up. Tonight he got hit by a car and he got right up. It's everything. It's right on the list, right on the way. Every step's on the way to get a Buried Alive match. So it looks like it's gonna happen that way. It's not there yet, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think it's not going to be that good of a match. I don't think Daniel Bryan's that type of wrestler. He's a very good in-ring technical wrestler. He's not a brute, Ryback meathead who can't do anything besides throw a few punches and maybe a suplex here or there. He's a really good wrestler, and I think he deserves better than this kind of match. Is what makes me mad. But as Kane has always done his whole career, he does what the company wants. They tell him to do something, he's going to do it. And it's just what Kane does, which will lead us to our last topic tonight. Kane's been around for almost close to 20 years now, if not more. Tad, this was
yeah.
close to it. This was Tad's idea tonight, and I think it's a good one. I want to know your opinion on Kane and his influence that he's had overall, from Demon Kane with the mask being buried, the mask off, to corporate Kane back to Demon. The overall aspect of Kane's influence on the WWE and the business period and what he's done for it.
All right. I mean, Kane, I think he's got to be one of the most valuable guys this company's ever had, single-handedly. He's been putting guys over for almost 20 years, and I think he's almost 50 now, and he's still taking spots through flaming tables to make Daniel Bryan look good. I mean, how many other guys at 50 would do something like that? And he's gone from, an evil dentist to, the mask, no mask, back and forth, back and forth.
I did forget about Isaac Yankem. My fault. I forgot about Isaac Yankem.
Isaac Yankem. I think he was fake Diesel at one point, but I mean, he does what he's asked, and at this point, he doesn't need the WWE. He's made enough money in his career, I'm sure, and he's a very smart guy that I'm sure if he wanted to walk away, he could. But I think, like I said, he's near 50. He's been nearly injury-free for most of his career, no major injuries, and he's been doing this for almost consistently 20 years. I believe he's absolutely deserving of being a first ballot Hall of Famer someday. If there was anything better than first ballot Hall of Famer, I'd put him up for that. He's absolutely the most valuable guy this company's ever had.
All right, Bonner, with that being said, yes, he's put people over, obviously. His in-ring performance, is it that great to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, you've got Warrior in there. Who
You got Coco Beware in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you got Coco. Don't we have Drew Carey in the Hall of Fame too?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, yeah, he deserves to be there. I mean, the only thing that I don't like about Kane, I mean, yeah, he puts everybody over and he does what the company wants, but sometimes he should say, you know what, I shouldn't take my character in this direction, because the flip-flop where he's corporate Kane and then, magically he puts on a baloney mask and becomes a demon, it just doesn't rub me the right way. But Kane as a strictly WWE employee, yeah, man. I mean, he's got it. I mean, he does what he's told. But I just wish sometimes he would just stick to the character, because you had Kane, the Undertaker's brother, which worked for both of them. That was a perfect ploy by the WWE to say, Kane's Undertaker's brother. It put both of them through the roof.
One of the best debuts, I think, in WWE history, honestly.
Oh, yeah. He comes in, he rips the door off the cell and everything. It's just like, whoa. So, but, yeah, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I just wish, stick to a constant character, I mean, I hated corporate Kane, but now that he's feuding with Bryan now, I don't know. I don't think it'll be Demon for much longer, maybe after Payback, but I don't know. But as for the whole Hall of Fame, yeah, he deserves to be in there.
All right. Eric, what do you think about Kane's influence on the WWE throughout his whole career from start to finish?
I always loved Kane, and I still do to this day. I mean, yeah, I didn't like the direction they took him for a little bit, but back when he was the Big Red Machine, I mean, I remember chanting for him every single week. But yeah, Glenn Jacobs has done a great thing for this company. I think, yes, he will be a future Hall of Famer. He should be, no matter what. And I liked Corporate Kane. I like the direction they're going, and this whole idea of the whole monster Kane. Everybody talks about he's pushing over Daniel Bryan, but I think Daniel Bryan's pushing over him. Don't forget we got See No Evil 2 coming up this year, so
Oh,
he's got to be that monster. Gotta. But no, all jokes aside, I really do like Kane. I liked him back when he was the big red machine Kane, other than the Devil's Favorite Reject type of idea, but yeah, Glenn Jacobs, great guy, great for this company, and I just hope that he doesn't push himself too far like The Undertaker has and knows when he needs to retire.
Well, okay. Well, panel, I got one thing to say, and that's I've got some bad news. Because Kane is, to me, one of the worst wrestlers in the history of the WWE. I saved this. Tad and I discussed it earlier. I saved it for it. I have never had respect for Kane. Kane to me has always been the second Undertaker. He came in as that. Undertaker came in so big, and Vince McMahon said, "Well, here's another big guy. Let's make him just like Undertaker with a little bit of a twist." He doesn't have a very good skill set. There's nothing really in the ring he does that's outstanding.
He's very agile for his size.
He's agile, but
Yeah,
he doesn't do it.
size,
I'll give you he's agile. I'm 6'4".
and he's strong,
Give me 3 more inches and 200 more pounds, and I'll jump off the top rope for $1 million a year. No big deal. I've never had that much respect for Kane in the ring. I just don't think his gimmick is that good. I think it was a ripoff of Undertaker. I think the whole brother thing was stupid from the get-go. I was probably 14 years old when he came out, 15. I knew he wasn't really his brother. Why would he do it? And then then Paul Bearer leaves Undertaker, goes to Kane. Who didn't see that coming? The one thing I'll give Kane credit for is, yes, in his 20 years he's put a lot of guys over. So is John Cena in his 10 years, and I hate John Cena too. That doesn't make me like a guy because he puts people over. That's your job. You're supposed to put people over when you're a veteran. Road Dogg, Jesse James put mad people over, and he's a terrible wrestler. The Road Dogg
I'll argue with you there about something. You
What?
say
Go
that
ahead.
Cena put a bunch of people over, but there was a streak of about 2007 to about CM Punk's Money in the Bank when Cena didn't put pretty much anybody over ever clean. He had a couple years where he lose clean. Kane's been going consistently for 20 years.
That's because
Always making other
That's
guys
because
look
John
good.
Cena had a pair of nuts to step up to Vince McMahon and say, "Hold on a second here. I want some spotlight too." Kane's never done that. He's just been literally.
Years of it, though?
It's been corporate Kane from day one, even though it wasn't his gimmick. Glenn Jacobs has been corporate since day one. He has been Vince McMahon's little bitch. I'll swear on the podcast. He has done. Yeah, I'll censor it tomorrow. Don't worry. He has done what Vince would want to do since day one, and I don't like that. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy, and I'm not the new Shawn Michaels guy. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy from the back of the day when he did what he wanted to. He knew how to entertain the fans. It didn't care about what the company said. He knew what the fans wanted, and
But at the
I
same
just
time, Kane's still going.
Kane is
Kane's still going. HBK, he's gone. Undertaker, gone. I
HBK
think
is
you
gone
gotta give.
because he actually performed in a ring for 15 years. Kane's done 3 moves for the last 20. A choke slam here, a jump off the top rope punch, and a tombstone.
But then again, also Shawn Michaels had his 5-year break or so.
Well, yeah, he broke his neck. He broke his neck. Of course, he had a 5-year break.
And
I'm
next
just
week
saying.
on Ring Kings, we have Tad versus Cody.
Well, I warned Tad tonight when we talked about
Yeah,
this
it's-
Kane thing
it's
that I
good.
wasn't going to be shy about it. This is what we need
good.
here. I don't like Kane. I never have.
It's good.
They're just.
I've
I
been a
don't think
Kane
they.
guy since day one, so.
And that's what the show's all about. Everybody's got their opinions.
I never realized that your hatred runs as deep for Kane as mine for the Undertaker.
It's
Yeah,
about, it's about the same.
We switched brothers. Okay.
Like I said, I always felt like Kane was Vince McMahon just trying to get more off Undertaker.
If it works, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
But it was broken because it didn't work that well to me. I mean, it worked, and he was Kane was a world champion one time for like a day or something. I mean, he's never really had. He's
What?
never
He had a
really.
great run at
Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
huge.
he had one really good run, and then he had one really short run.
Yeah,
That's it.
his first run, he won it, and then he lost it to Austin the next day on
Yeah.
Raw.
So here's what I'm
his-
saying: is you do that, you sell out to Vince McMahon whatever you want for all these years, and what do you get in return? He's got a fat wallet.
Financial
Yeah,
security.
he does have a
That dude can
fat
do
wallet.
whatever he wants.
He does have a fat wallet, but does he have the respect of all like the respect I have for? You know what I mean? He's got your respect.
Well,
Is he a
everything I've
I think he has the respect of the locker
respected
room.
guy in the locker room.
Oh, of course, the locker room. He's a veteran. Every veteran's got. Shawn Michaels ended up getting respect of the locker room after he screwed every single one of them over for 15 years. You get
And then
that
he found-
when you're a veteran.
I think we need to quote John on this one and just say "when in Rome."
When in Rome. Now, I mean, I'll give you this one. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. He is a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just because if people like Drew Carey and Mr. T are in the Hall of Fame, Kane, who has been in the business and has earned his, done his bumps, done his road house shows and European tours, and done all that he's done for the company, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Not for his wrestling ability, not by any
No,
means
but for
to me.
consistency.
For consistency, yes, I'll give him that. He's a solid, consistent guy. Is he a favorite wrestler of mine? I think you can all tell that no, he's not by any means. But for this week, we're gonna wrap it up with that, and I can end it and make sure you guys can't talk anymore about Kane because that's what happens when you're the host. I'm Cody at WLater30 on Twitter. Tad, give him your handle.
At Ted Johnson SK.
Eric, go ahead.
It's at the personality on Twitter. And real quick, I got a question for people to tweet me the answer. Tonight or Extreme Rules, which was better for the Intercontinental Championship match?
All right, Botter.
I am at Botter on Twitter, and I'm a mild Kane fan.
All right, this has been episode 9 of the Squared Circle. Make sure you check out sports-kings.com/ringkings for all your WWE, MMA, and boxing news. Twitter at ringkingssk, and Facebook we're SK Ringkings. Check us out. Leave a like, leave a comment, anything you want to know. Question, we're always here 24/7.
And subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. All right, guys. Till the next time.